right, old school NBA fans, self-research, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. I want to give a special thanks to WAF6IX. Thanks a lot, my man, for the super thanks. Much appreciated. Before I get into the video, I just wanted to acknowledge that we lost a giant today. Ozzy Osbourne passed away, and if you guys are anything like me, like it seems like most of you are, you know how big he was for your teenage years, maybe even childhood. And he'll definitely be missed. The man was a legend. You can't say heavy metal without mentioning Ozzy Osbourne. In this video here, something that's always bothered me. The media downplays what the Bulls were able to do in the 90s. They've normalized this because of people like Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, always talking about, 6-0, 6-0. They're not explaining it right. And I'm going to do that in this video. It's not just about 6-0, all right? The younger people who crap all over the old NBA, they need to get this through their thick heads once and for all. Since 1969 through 2024, because we don't know what's going to happen in 2026, so 2025 is kind of irrelevant. That's 56 seasons, champions who had a chance to repeat since Boston in 1969. Boston in 1969 did not repeat as champions. Bill Russell was no longer there. Sam Jones retired, even though he was getting older. It was a pale version of himself. Still, they got JoJo White, and everybody talks about how Bill Russell only averaged 10 points a game that season, 9.9 to be exact. Well, Hank Finkel took over the center duties. He's getting you 9.7, pretty much the same thing. JoJo White, a Hall of Famer, slides right on in for Sam Jones. Why couldn't Boston keep winning then? If Bill Russell's no big deal, why not? You still got Bailey Howell and Don Nelson, John Havlicek. Why not? Why couldn't they keep winning? They couldn't even make the playoffs. But the bottom line is, no, they did not repeat as champions. The Knicks in 1970, no. 71 Milwaukee Bucks, no. 72 Lakers, no. 73 Knicks, no. 74 Celtics, 75 Warriors, 76 Celtics, 77 Trailblazers, 78 Bullets, 79 Sonics, the 1980 Lakers, 81 Celtics, 82 Lakers, 83 76ers, 84 Boston, 85 Lakers, 86 Celtics. No, 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 and no. None of them could repeat as champions. They had stacked teams, some of these guys, but they couldn't repeat. So maybe repeating as champion is actually a pretty hard thing to do. Once we got into the late 80s, we did see quite a few repeats, but this wasn't for any other reason other than the teams that won it were focused and determined. The competition was very fierce. 1987, the Lakers are going to repeat in 1988. Yes, they did repeat. From 88 to 89, no, they didn't. Detroit Pistons going from 89 to 90. Yes, they repeated. From 90 to 91, no, they didn't. The Chicago Bulls won the title in 91. Did they repeat? Yes. And then they were trying to repeat again in 93. They did. Did not repeat in 94, though. Houston repeated 94, 95. Then the Bulls repeated twice from 96, 7, and 8. The Bulls did not repeat in 99. The Spurs won it in 99, but they did not repeat in 2000. Then you had the Lakers from 2000 to 2001, and then 01 to 02, 2 repeats in there. But when they went for it in 03, no, they did not repeat. The 03 Spurs won it. They did not repeat. Neither did the 04 Pistons or the 05 Spurs. 2006 Miami Heat won instead of the Spurs, but then it was the 07 Spurs, the 08 Celtics. Could the Celtics repeat? No, they couldn't. In 2009, when the Lakers won, they did repeat, but they couldn't repeat in 2011. Dallas won. They couldn't repeat. Miami won. They did repeat, but they couldn't repeat in 2014. That was San Antonio, who also could not repeat. That was the 15 Warriors who couldn't repeat. That was the 16 Cavs who couldn't repeat. The 17 and 18 Warriors. That's a repeat right there. That's the last repeat we got. The 2017 and 2018 Warriors. So the 2019 Raptors, 2020 Lakers, 21 Bucks, 22 Warriors, 23 Nuggets, 24 Celtics. None of them could repeat. The 25 Thunder, we'll see next year. Maybe. So that means since 1969, when Boston won the championship, in 56 champions, only 12 teams were able to repeat. And of the 12, the Chicago Bulls have 4 of them. The Lakers have 4 of them, but 3 different instances. The Lakers in the 80s, 87, 88, with Magic and aging Kareem and Worthy and all those guys. Then you got Shaq and Kobe have 2 of them. And then you have Kobe, Pau Gasol, Lamar Odom, Andrew Bynum, that whole crew there. That made up 4 for that franchise, 3 different times. Not exactly different decades, but 2010 was kind of ushering in the new one, so sort of. And then you have 4 one-offs. 89-90 Pistons, 94-95 Rockets, 17-18 Golden State Warriors, and Miami Heat. That's it. So it took LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh getting together to get one of those. It took Kevin Durant and Steph Curry getting together to get one of those. Olajuwon won a championship as the sole superstar in that team. The sole star, actually. But he did need Drexler to complete the back-to-back. They were not going to win that without him. And then you have Shaq and Kobe, Magic and Kareem, an older Kareem, more like Magic and Worthy, though. Kareem was probably the 4th best player, but they had AC Green and Michael Cooper. They were loaded. And then the Lakers in 09 and 10, yeah, the supporting cast wasn't great, but they sure weren't bad either. Pau Gasol and all those guys and Odom and Derek Fisher. It was a solid squad, no doubt about it. But no, they were not as good as the 17-18 Warriors supporting cast, 13-14 Miami Heat, the Detroit Pistons in 89 and 90. They're incredible depth, but they had a nice core too. Mark Aguirre, Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman, Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas. That is a squad with Vinnie Johnson, James Edwards, John Sally, Rick Mahorn, at least in the 89 championship. Yeah, a squad. And the Chicago Bulls, a much better team in the second three-peat. But in the first three-peat, they had a superstar in Jordan. They had a star in Scottie Pippen. They had a good player in Horace Grant. And the rest were average journeymen. Tell me they weren't. All of a sudden, John Paxson, Craig Hodges, Bill Cartwright suddenly are elevated all of a sudden, all these years later. Who knew? They were average players. I would have traded Bill Cartwright for more than half the centers in the NBA at that time. No doubt about it. Bulls have 1/3 of all repeats in the last 56 years. And he didn't need another top 5 player in the league to do it either. Now, granted, neither did Olajuwon, neither did the Pistons, and neither did Kobe. I agree. Now let's take a look at the teams who had a chance to three-peat since 1967, actually. In 67, the 76ers won the championship. Obviously, their chance to three-peat was history because they couldn't even repeat. All right, fine, whatever. Boston won it in 68 and 69. So their attempt to repeat failed. They missed the playoffs. The next team that had a shot at doing it was the next team that repeated, the 87 and 88 Lakers. Here's how it went down for them.
Last year, the Pistons had a 3-2 lead, but couldn't win one of the last 2. Now they'll do it. World champs.
So they got swept 4-0 in the finals. That's what happened. Magic got hurt. It was Kareem's last series. Yada, yada, the rest is history. The next 2 years, the Pistons won the championships. They were now vying for a three-peat. They got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think that Magic Johnson really got him fired up about it and really did the job. Well, I think the crowd is cheering here for the Bulls right now and the Pistons as they leave the court.
I don't think they're cheering for the Bulls, but I think the greeting is for the Pistons as they are headed off as time runs down. Pistons wasting no time in getting out of here. Now a timeout was called. They left the bench, although there's 7 and 9, 10 seconds remaining. Another emotional hug. That's been the story here in the fourth quarter. To the locker room, their season has concluded while the Chicago Bulls advance to the NBA championship round.
And then they walked off the court like a bunch of fools. Swept out, and basically they were swept out of relevance at that point. Couldn't get it done. That's 3 in a row. Couldn't get it done. The 1993 Bulls were going for a three-peat. Here's how it turned out for them.
Oliver Miller plays it. Here's Johnson. Johnson gets, no, he could not get it off. Knocked away by Grant. It's all over. The Chicago Bulls have made it 3 straight NBA championships. So the Chicago Bulls have accomplished something that has not been done in 27 years. They have become only the third team in NBA history to win 3 in a row. No team has done it. In the last 26 years, only the Minneapolis Lakers and the Boston Celtics have won 3 straight titles. The 2 most recent teams to attempt it, the 1989 Lakers, the 1991 Pistons, both falling short.
Yeah, you heard Marv Albert. The first team in 27 years to do it. The third franchise ever to do it. Houston Rockets in 94-95. They were going for a three-peat in 1996. Here's what happened.
We'll put the nail in the coffin for the defending champions. It's over.
As we expected.
The final 114-107. The Sonics sweep the Rockets in overtime.
They got swept in the semifinals by a very good Seattle team, who gave the Bulls a pretty good series, at least at the end of the series. It was over 3-0, regardless of what the revisionists say now. Oh, it was a dogfight. It was 3-0. They were down by 30 points at the half of Game 3. That series was over. But they did sweep Houston, so I always give them credit for that. And they beat a very good 1996 Utah Jazz team in 7 in the conference finals to get to the finals. That's got to be noted. Then the Bulls had their crack at a three-peat in 1998.
Pippen into Jordan. Michael working on Russell. Brings them to within 1.
They scored within 4 seconds there. That's how quickly that changes now. Now it puts the pressure on the Jazz to score once again.
Jordan with 43. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Timeout, Utah. 5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points. If they score, there's a Game 7. If they don't, for the second straight year, they go out in 6. Stopped it. Harper's on him. Behind the screen. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their second three-peat.
So as we all know, they got it done. 2 three-peats in the 90s. The next team that had a crack at it was the 2002 Lakers. They won it in 2000. They won it in 2001. In 2002 Western Conference Finals, there was definitely some controversy around that series. People have asked me to look into it, and I gotta say, it looks shady. There's no question. It looks very shady. Looks like the Kings got the short end of the stick, whether it was on purpose, scripted, rigged, whatever you want to call it. It absolutely does look like that. Now, maybe the refs were just incompetent. I don't know. But they definitely were bad enough to make people question it. But ultimately, in 2002,
The Los Angeles Lakers have made it 3 straight NBA championships. They wrap it up in the 4-game sweep by beating the Nets 113 to 107.
they won it and became the third team to three-peat since Boston in 1966. The next team with the crack, Kobe Bryant had another crack at it in 2011 after winning it in 09 and 10.
There will be a new champion in the NBA, and one of the great coaching careers of all time has come to an end, in all likelihood. And Cuban with a hug for Kobe Bryant as he departs. A new champion will be crowned as the Los Angeles Lakers face a ton of questions going forward. A very embarrassing elimination here in Dallas.
They got swept by a Dallas team that was probably about as good as they were. It felt like the Lakers ran out of gas. That's what it felt like. And Dallas was just way more hungry and wanted it more. That's what it felt like to me. The next team, supposed to be this hungry juggernaut super team, they won the championship in 2012. They come back and win it in 2013, needing 7 games to beat the Pacers in the conference finals, a 49-win team, mind you. And then in the finals, they need nothing short of a miracle from Ray Allen to win that championship. But in 2014, there would be no miracles.
Like you said, Mark, there is such respect for the teams and the coaching staff on these two. We still have 5.9 remaining. And the final seconds set to tick off. San Antonio is back on top once again. The Spurs are the 2014 NBA champions. Two of the game's greats right there.
They got crushed. One of the worst beatdowns in finals history. The next team to have a crack at it, the 2019 Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant got hurt. People like to point out, oh, Klay Thompson missed a game too. Like, I don't even want to hear about Golden State with the injuries. They benefited from opponent injuries more than any team I've ever seen. Every year they won the championship, they benefited from major key player injuries. So no sympathy here.
There's a new NBA champion, and it's a team from Toronto, Canada. We, the North, are now we, the champions. The Raptors, the 2019 NBA champs. As Golden State falls short to the Toronto Raptors.
So, yep, Toronto got their championship, denying Golden State a shot at a three-peat. That's just how it went down. And nobody has even repeated since then. So, like I said, since the 76ers in 1967, 10 teams had a shot at a three-peat. Only 3 were successful. The Chicago Bulls in 93 and 98, and the Lakers in 02. The Lakers did have some controversy in that Western Conference Finals, no doubt about it. The Bulls didn't. They just flat out made the plays at the end to win it. And it wasn't easy in either season, no matter what any of the revisionists say. Phoenix was an excellent team. You're telling me Tom Chambers, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, and Charles Barkley, that nucleus was some kind of pushover? Yeah, I don't think so. Somebody pointed out today, they got the same offensive rating as the 17 Warriors do, the team everybody goes on and on about. And then in 98, with a bad back Pippen, the Bulls supporting cast not really helping Jordan out at all. He had to almost do it single-handedly. So the Chicago Bulls are responsible for 1/3 of the repeats in the last 56 years and 2/3 of the three-peats in the last 58 years. That's what needs to be acknowledged. That's what needs to be talked about. Not, oh, 6-0. 6-0, never forced a game 7. Guys are idiots. You go with the historical precedent of it, that no other teams could do it. That's what you go with. Not, oh, 6-0. You're normalizing it when you guys say this stuff. It's just like, yeah, I know, 6-0, whatever. That's all you got. Like it's no big deal. No, it needs to be explained that none of these other franchises, no matter how great the teams were, could pull it off. Period. Even the 19 Warriors, they're so great, right? Well, Durant got hurt. Klay Thompson got hurt too in one game, I guess. But even still, staying healthy is part of it. Scottie Pippen got injured. Yeah, he played. He went out there. But he wasn't himself. He wasn't very effective. but you have to overcome these things. It's hard to do. I agree. That's why it needs to be taken into account and factored in a big way that somebody could actually win 3 in a row multiple times. It's very hard just to repeat, but to three-peat and do it multiple times, it's unprecedented. No other team has ever won 2 separate championship winning streaks of 3 or more. Boston won 8 in a row. That's better than 2 three-peats, I agree. But still, it was 1 streak of 8 in a row. More impressive, definitely. But 2 separate streaks of 3 in a row. That's what needs to be acknowledged by the media and the fans. They need to come to terms with it, that this is not normal. This is not 6 normal championships. This is compounded, more difficult. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.